Ark 2. This game is a sequel to the Ark Survival Evolved, which is a dino survival game. And the most exciting about the game is the involvement of none other than actor and a super fan of Ark game, Vin Diesel. We would expect that the game would be an exciting multiplayer where you fight and still tame creatures in order to help ensure your survival as best as possible. For new players, you might find the game overwhelming at first as there is a learning curve with the game mechanics, but will pay off once you've experienced a lot of deaths and defeats. The early Ark experience can be frustrating, but it rewards those patient and curious. And oh boy, did we mention that it has dinosaur you can ride? Kerbal Space Program 2 is a fully redesigned while keeping the foundation of the original game to meet the modern and next-generation space exploration genre, promising to keep the exciting and challenging features of spaceflight to captivate veteran and returning players. The game promised to provide a better tutorial system, base building, co-op, and faster-than-light travel. The original release plan of 2020 was apparently unrealistic because Kerbal Space 2 has been delayed twice now, all the way to 2022. From an event-altering game, base-building game to escape the moon, survival game, or even some Now this one is a really exciting and a solid game release that really looks like an advertisement from a certain mobile game, but the only difference is that it's a real game. Chrono Odyssey. It's a Korean MMO that's supposedly hitting some playable states in 2021, then fully releasing it in 2022. The developer described it as an epic fantasy massively multiplayer online RPG about time and space, in which you are waging a huge war against 12 gods. The trailer for Chrono Odyssey is mostly showing off a range of fantasy battlefields and monsters and handsome characters. I think it's safe to say that the game we end up playing won't look like so stunning as the cinematic trailer, but it should make for an interesting fantasy counterpart of Final Fantasy games. Eiyuden Chronicle. An initial release of 2022, Eiyuden Chronicle is a brand new, high-quality JRPG that is made by veteran developers of Suikoden 1 and 2 series. The game is promised to have 100 playable characters with a deep story that are intricately intertwined with each other. A bit complicated and interesting story, right? Well, don't worry cause the master storyteller Yoshitaka Murayama got us covered. The game used the Unity engine, which allows the game to be played in mid-level PCs and is crowdfunded in Kickstarter. Images from crowdfunding website shows us a striking blend of 2D sprites on a 3D backgrounds, and the campaign pulled in something like $4.5 million, one of the biggest gaming crowdfunding campaigns in years. The game development team seems to have a clear and focused vision, and maybe they can pull it off as per planned release date. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a genre-bending action-adventure shooter game set in an open world based on Metropolis. The game features 4 playable characters: Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Campaign Boomerang, and King Shark. While it can be played solo, the game also featured a 4-player cooperative multiplayer mode. When played solo, players can switch between characters at will, while the other characters are controlled by artificial intelligence. You will expect a mix of familiar Arkham melee combat with lot of guns. Will it actually arrive in 2022? Let's hope so. Arkham Knight came out in 2015.
What is that? Australian for hangover?
I believe I can translate. Boomerang has a concussion from the enemy you missed in our last encounter.
Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is another Kickstarter behind the developer of retro game platformer The Messenger. The game is said to be a prequel story set in the Messenger's universe, which tells the story of 2 children of the solstice who will combine the powers of the sun and the moon to perform eclipse magic, the only force capable of fending off the monstrous creation of the evil alchemist known as the Fleshmancer. What's exciting about Sea of Stars is how different it looks from Sabotage's previous game, which was a pretty direct Ninja Gaiden classic. This one is a modernized classic turn-based combat RPG with deep storytelling, exploration, and interaction with the environment, while still offering a hearty slice of nostalgia and good old simple fun. The Callisto Protocol. This thing might give you a good laugh, but please let me tell you a bit first. The Callisto Protocol is a sci-fi horror game set from 300 years in the future of PUBG universe. Yeah, you hear that right, in PUBG universe. That's really happening. It looks silly, but it's not really an issue because the interesting bit is that the game is being made by team who created Dead Space games. So we would expect a high quality scary vibe and nightmarish ambient noise within the game. The Callisto Protocol is a story-driven, single-player survival game set in prison on Jupiter's moon Callisto. And there are going to be some freaky aliens, mutants, horror creatures roaming around. So prepare yourself and face your fear. Homeworld 3, with a scheduled release date of 4th quarter of 2022, developer of the game confirmed that the gameplay would be the same as its 2 predecessors, which is a 3D real-time strategy game in a cosmic environment. The exciting part about the game is the extensive campaign, which gives solo gameplay players a focus. We can say that the Homeworld is a beloved game, and the stakes are high on this release, and knowing that the veteran developer who worked Homeworld Desert of Karak, which is also an amazing game, will give us an assurance that us fans won't get turned down. Looking at the trailer, the vibe of the Homeworld is intact. The music, the voices, muffled ambience audio, and the distinctive engine are straight to the point. Now let's move on our last pick of best upcoming games of 2022. Starfield. As we are getting an optimistic news that the game will more likely to be released late 2021, due to current pandemic plus the fact that Microsoft already purchased Bethesda, there is a possibility that the Starfield release date will get delayed again. And this gives us our last pick of the upcoming game of 2022, which is still optimistic. Us fans are really excited about the game due to Bethesda's credibility of releasing a high-quality RPG games like Fallout and Elder Scrolls. And also, the involvement of SpaceX founder and CEO Elon Musk will give us a more realistic yet fictitious experience. Starfield is a science fiction RPG action-adventure game and more likely a scavenger-like space traveling games, so we might expect a survival resource management but in space.